Storytelling Ron here, and this is some Storm King's Thunder tips further along after the Stone Giant. We're into the Frost Giants, so it's going to be kind of focused around the Frost Giants. But I'm also going to show you some technical stuff that I just learned, and to help you out as well. This is if you want to ever do recording online, and I'm not a pro at this. I'm just telling you stuff that I've recently learned. For instance, if you're recording, and I can't click on these, I guess, because I'm recording. But if you're recording, and you go into settings, and if you're recording an MP4, and if ever your computer crashed, which it did on mine a couple episodes back when we were live recording the playthrough, oh my gosh, I was so devastated. We lost the first hour, and we had a great time, and I was just, that weight of losing something, and man, that was devastating. So what I recommend is under settings, you can actually record under MKV. And of course, I can't use MKV in Premiere and all that. Well, OBS will change it to MP4 at the end if you want. It's called Remux. And there's a Remux under, I think it's File Make, or it just says Remux the recording or whatever. And it'll record, you can change it to, it's called Remux. You can Remux MK4 to MP4 or whatever. Okay, so if it crashes, the MK4 you won't lose the video. So that's something I just recently learned. And by the way, I got that the MP3 or MP4 recording that I lost because of the computer blue screen of death crash, which I haven't had in a long time. I was able to recover it, and that was a little tricky and freaky, and I had to go through all this stuff. If you guys comment, whoever, if anyone ever wants to comment that you want to know how to do that, I'll try and go through it, but I don't want to do a video on it because it was annoying, and I did get it done though, and that was amazing. But I did recover that hour. That was amazing. A lot of Google searching and creepiness, and afraid I got viruses with some executables and stuff, but so far so good. Anyway, so do MK4 when you're recording, so that if ever you crashed, and then at the end you can remux it into an MP. I think it's called remux into MP4. I just want to show you that part. That's under settings. You can change it. I don't know if I can do it while I'm recording. Let me find out. Nope. See? Okay. So, but you get the idea. Under settings, for making video, you can select MK4 instead of MP3s or MP4s to record. Okay. So at the Frost Giants, right? I want to go through a couple things what I've been doing and just DM tips for you. For Frost Giants, I decided I really want to give them treasures, for every Frost Giant that they kill. And so what I did here, let me make sure you guys can see it on the screen. Oh, it's a little cut. Man, I got to move this. Okay, let me just quickly, in real time. And by the way, I'm only using one hand. I smashed my knuckle working out with that stuff. It's kind of just slightly swollen, and I kind of ignored it, and it got, swelled a little more. But let me just see if I can quickly make this screen a little bit more visible, because I didn't know it was cut off so much. There. Okay, that was all I wanted to do. All right, Treasures of the Frost Giants. So, Treasures of the Frost Giants. What I decided to do is I really want them to get treasures for each Frost Giant. Oh, here's the camera. I feel like the Frost Giants should have more treasure on them than just common items. I wanted them to have gold, or maybe they could have a magic item. They could have, in their sacks, and I make sure that everything was dirty. Because in the lair, let me just jump to this real quick. Where is it? See, again, I'm using my. So, I had treasures in the boats. I had treasures on them. I had treasures in every room. They could search for treasures. Every Frost Giant, they could search for treasures. Because I felt like each of them could have looted, whatever they looted, and there could be magic items in it. And the Frost Giants don't care, right? Because they're all teeny. To them, they're little trinkets and toys and stuff, and they just have them all messed up in their stuff. And if you episodes 32, 33, 30, the Smartboard one, there's a lot of, I started sort of developing more of my how I wanted them to investigate for treasure or find treasure. And so, and I'm going to go through this too, how I did all that in this video. Okay. But I'll go back to the treasure. I use InDesign. Okay, so what I decided to do was create a little table. Obviously, most of it is getting gold. Items is non-magic items, and it's right here. And this is the value of those items. Like I make them roll, by the way. You probably, if you've seen my thing. If they find treasure, let me start at the top. First, I decided giants, right? So if someone could roll strength DC 20, then the next person that was doing the search could get an advantage to their roll. And obviously that makes sense because they have to lift the giants, or even the stuff around, like in the boats. I described it as giant dead thing, walrus carcasses, big oars, just tackle everywhere, loot everywhere. A lot of it is just broken and trashed up, and it's kind of funny. The wizard was, I really described it like it was too messy for her because she rolled a low investigate. But it was cool to think of like they have to lift things and find, So and of course the gnome is the only one with the strength. But so if someone could roll DC 20 strength and they get an advantage to the roll. Now the search is a DC 18. If they roll an actual 20, they get a +1 roll. If they roll above a 24, they get a +1 to the rolls, because obviously the higher you roll, the better the chance of treasure. So they then go through a series of rolls to get what treasure they want, and it gets a little long, especially if there's like a bunch of rolls. I can see that people are losing interest, but it's treasure. Anyway, so the first roll is 1 through 6, and if they roll a 6, they get a little extra. Second roll gets advantage. They get a second roll, plus it gets an advantage to the roll. All right, but if they're rolling through a 5, then it's just one roll. All right, the first roll is, and you can, or if you want to go this route, you could make less rolls. Like maybe you just take this whole out and just start with the treasures. But and then just maybe include this in this thing, which I probably should do, because the less rolls the better, just to get it quickly going. But anyway, so as you can see, the first few rolls are gold. Then they get to items, which is 4, if they find an item. And then I have them roll 1 through 20, and then it's one of these. All right, and obviously you can see if it's a noble item, 1d6. So 1d6. So what is a noble item? Noble items, like what princes and knights and stuff would have. Necklaces, jewelry. Could be furnishings, like it could be like a candelabra. It could be anything, anything that you think a noble would have, whether it's a furnishing or whether it's something they wear. So I just combine it all as noble, because I don't want to describe every little thing and then if they're writing down pendant with a ruby, and the value of noble stuff is 100 gold times 1d10. Pendant with a ruby, 600 gold. I don't want to write out all the stuff. Just you got 3 noble items. And then later on, they can go and try to sell them, and then I roll this value thing based on based on their persuasion or sales, whatever, wherever they're at. So when they have like 5 noble items, then they know that they can go and get something around hundreds of golds worth, wherever they go to sell things. And same with merchant. I hate that I sniffle. I hear some other people on Twitter or YouTube sniffle, and it annoys me, and I'm now doing it. Sorry. My nose is just that way. Sorry. Anyway, so I'm very aware of it. And the ums. So, also lordly and legendary. I try to, I definitely don't want them to get too many of those, but they have. And the reason I put dwarven here is because of the area. The frost giants, a lot of dwarven areas up there. So I figured most of the lordly legendary things would be dwarven, and they're not magical, although they could be semi-enchanted, but they're just like crowns, scepters, jewelry, a gem, something that the dwarves really admire, but it's not magical. It's just really valuable. And obviously the value here, lordly, is between 1 and 10,000, and legendary is between 10,000 and 100,000. Which I may take that. That's a lot. That'll kill my. I almost think it's never traded. I probably should not have it be a traded thing, like a monetary value, but something that if they give it up, they'll get a great gift back from a dwarven kingdom or lord, or get access to them. So there's that. That's a valuable thing to. So I probably should do that actually. I just thought of that just now. So see, okay, thank you very much. So as they get further along, our roll now here, they could get potions and things, or 2 items rolls, or helpful magical item, weapon or armor, and for the wizard. So those are my 3 magic items. And yes, even a frost giant could have one of these on them. Again, they wouldn't know. They just carry, they just loot and grab stuff, and they destroy, villages and ships and whatever else. So And again, it's really hard, to actually get them. Oh, and another thing I figured out was the previous time we played, the person with the highest investigate was doing all the searching, and I was kind of like, this is not cool. I want to split it up. So what I figured out was, when you're searching, you can use your investigate, perception, or survival. Investigate is in furnished and kept places, libraries, wizard places. So this is the investigate is for like the intelligent or smarty ones. Perception then is in lairs, scattered, dirty, crude areas, right? Castles, dungeons, campsites, whatever. And survival is the way they search if it's a natural terrain. If they're looking around natural terrain, I think there would be a treasure there. Now, any skill, I will allow them to use any skill if it's literally a pile of treasure or a treasure hoard, like a dragon treasure hoard. They can search amongst all the stuff. And remember, most of the stuff there is not, think about that too, most of the stuff isn't that valuable. So they have to search through it to get the gold coins and the valuable gems and jewelry. Like a lot of it could be fake or just dirty or broken or, it's just, I would assume that treasure hoards, they will grab whatever they want and just throw it in there and make it look like it's valuable, even though really the valuable stuff is in and amongst the stuff. So that's that's what I do, and I do have way up here at the top is my treasure list, and these are treasures I made up for this campaign that they could get. And once they get it, I usually mark it off unless it's something I think is repeatable. Like one here is Gem of Enchantment. I have Gem of Enchantment usually on all of 3 of them. And that's a gem to me where like the Bloodstone or anything, like I'm using in the campaign, there's a bunch of stones or whatever that they could use, and then it transfers in, and they can create their own cape or boot or whatever from that specific stone. You'll see in the campaign or in Storm King's Thunder. But I decided to just do Gems of Enchantment where they could use it to infuse with whatever magic item they have or non-magic item, and that gem will infuse with the item and give it a +1 or a plus what, enhance its magic somehow. I'm really into them getting magic items that grow with them. Like, the Rangers have bows that are growing in magic with them, stuff like that. So I'm into that kind of thing. And I like these utilitarian type of magic items for me personally. So that's the way I kind of do these things. I don't like most of the DM Guild's magic items, and that could be that I'm just not that creative, or the player, or I don't, I'm not dogging the players, but the magic items in the DM's Guild or DM's Guild, DM Dungeon Masters they're very like they're not specific. I mean, they're very specific in what they do, and then their limitations. So you have to kind of write all this stuff down and remember them. And then you can get obviously very creative outside of that. You can. I agree. You can get creative on how you use them. But I've just found that the way they describe it is very, like, you got to remember so many things and then play off of that. Now, if you're a player that's really, really experienced and into it, I think that would be cool. That's fine. But for me, new players and then a new group, I kind of wanted them to just have simple magic items that they can just use and know what they do, and then play the character's creativity through, on their own. If that makes any sense, whatever. So that's the treasure list that I have for them. I'm also using this for the white dragons that are at the location. They have a treasure hoard there, and they're going to have it too. But it's going to obviously be a chance here for higher rolls. Giving them a +1, +2 to the rolls if they when they search, and the search is going to be easier too. 15, not an 18. Because it's a treasure hoard, and then they can use whatever skill they want if they can melt through the ice and get it, plus the 12,000 gold. So that's that. This is the White Dragon, Frost Around Draw. Yeah. Okay, so that's that one. That little explanation. Another thing I wanted to discuss, and let me just look real quick. I'm just free balling here. Anyway, free form DM discussion. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the map of Smartboard. And then this is the map of the rooms in Smartboard, right? And so this is how they have it in Roll20. Well, I changed that because I knew I didn't want to do it this way, and I'm glad because it really works out much better if you watch episodes 30 of my playthrough, 31, the Smartboard ones. But let me show you what I did, and I really see. So what I did, as you can see here, forget wowing, because I'm using I'm using my left hand for the mouse, so I have to switch my brain around here because I want to give my hand a break and let it heal up. The swelling's gone down, so that's great, but I can still feel it's a little pained in there. I just need to chill and be humble. Okay. So as you can see here, I added the layers, the rooms into the Smartboard exterior map because it really helped. I mean, if you watch the game, you'll see they're going in and out of these rooms and into the, and I didn't want to switch between maps. That's too confusing. And they're about to have like a battle. Look at that. These guys are coming, and there's the frost giants, and they're gonna dock somewhere. And they're setting up their defenses in this building, and this one goes up here. And I don't know everything about Roll20, but this I some of these were maps, but now they're objects, tokens. They were maps, and then I kept losing them behind the main map, and I don't know what the heck. I don't want to mess with it. Maybe I want to mess with it now and look for it, which I probably could do. But I just turned them into tokens because I couldn't deal with it. So what I did is I basically just screen captured the other map on Roll20 because the resolution on here is really great. This map here, I had prepared it, but then I realized I don't want to keep switching. So I basically just, now that I have a 4K monitor, I can screen capture these at a really high res, which is really nice. And then I just, in Photoshop, cleaned it up, took out the outside, and then uploaded it to Roll20, and then placed them into here. And it was a little tricky with using them as tokens, with the characters. So I had to keep moving the maps behind their tokens, But worth it because, again, I really wanted them to be in and out of these rooms and on the iceberg, or whatever it's called. And this is a map. If you watch this, the playthrough, this is Slockrethel. He is looking for the warlock who has hid herself. And let me play the sound. These sounds were really important in the game. This one, this is the as the horn here where they can sound off, and that was a great moment. Let's see if So that was the horn used, and they freaked out the players. That was cool to warn the others. Of course, they killed half the frost giants on Smartboard, so it wasn't much of a warning. And I didn't use it to call the ship because I figured the ship was way far away. But that's the horn that the frost giants used to warn the other frost giants in the area. But they already killed most of them, so that it was anticlimactic. But when I did it was cool. And then this, of course, Slockrethel. Oh, and that sound I just found on YouTube, and I used V-Downloader to get it. And Slockrethel here. So you should watch the thing. Assuming it's capturing it. All right, that sound I got from YouTube as well. I looked for Cthulhu, but then I realized they were using Godzilla, so I just downloaded it, and then in Premiere, I don't know how to use Audition that well, so just in Premiere I kind of combined the right sounds, and then this is just an image off of a reptile I found off of Google search, and then I just softened the edges. Anyway, so that's that. That was cool. So this is how I played. I just hide that. So this is how I did this. If you're wondering how I got these maps in there, I just I was saying with Krigvin, I didn't want it to be a separate map. I wanted it to be on this map, and I just screen grabbed it, and then as you can see, I tried to get rid of all the edges, but and then made it into a PNG file. And in case you don't know, you got to use Photoshop, but you can use GIMP. GIMP is a free version of Photoshop, but you can and make a PNG to take out, so that it has this mask, so that it'll come up. I know I'm not explaining myself very well, but hopefully you were really smart. As you can see, I tried to get rid of it. I didn't want to go around every ore and then delete, but I just try to use the wand, but whatever. Anyway, but it still worked great. So that's how I did that. That was a lot of fun. So they're about to. That's the climax. They're about to. The next couple of episodes. I'm assuming this is going to take an episode or 2 or 3 to fight all of these dudes. Man, they're coming. They got to fight all these. I have no idea if they're going to win. I really don't. But they barely survived the white dragon. One white dragon, man. Gee. And then there's another one here. They know to, but thankfully they know to. They can release it and it'll fight for them. Well, not for them, but it'll fight. So, but man, this is going to be. I don't know if they're going to make it. I don't know, man. It's pretty freaky dicky. They got to be ready. They did just kill this dragon, but a lot of them, half of the team party fell. So they almost lost that one, and that's the closest they've come to losing too. That's pretty crazy. But that was a good intro though to a dragon, like an adult dragon. What an adult dragon could do. That was a lot of fun. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was kind of stressing out for them. So what's next? After this, I'm preparing. They're going to meet Clouthen again, because after they defeat them, these guys left. That's Darlost. He was in Smartboard with the Manticores, and then he flew off. But he made a semi-deal like for the Winter Ring, and he's waiting in Bryn Shander. I don't know how that's going to work out. That's like really how the Warlock and him are going to talk, but I'll figure that out later. So I'm developing now the fire giants. So this is the fire giant area, right? Iron Slag. Now obviously they're over here, way over here with the frost giants. They're gonna fly over to this area. But this is really interesting. I'm gonna what do you do with all this? You gotta cut out the fat, and I'm going to obviously the Cloud Giant Castle is gonna be here. I hope they don't go towards it. I'm going to bring in Felgolos. Felgolos is in prison. I think that's how you pronounce it, but whatever. He's a adult copper dragon. He's imprisoned on the Cloud Giant Castle, and he's he's in pain, howling because they're torturing him. I'm going to introduce him after the Frost Giants to the characters. He's flying around and he helps them. I think, and then I think I'm going to have him fly them to this area because they know they need to go here. And then he's going to notice the Cloud Giant Castle. Oh, that's interesting. Now, I hope the characters don't fall and go, oh, let's go there. I got to make sure that they know it's like really far away, really high up, can't breathe, I'll do something like that where they can't breathe. It's way up high. Humans can't breathe way up there. But the Copper Dragon is interested. But anyway, he drops them off somewhere, and then he takes off and does his own thing. But, okay. Sniffle. Okay, the Lord's Alliance is involved now. Mithril. Oh, and they know about the fire thing. The Madeira Dawn Titan has been stolen, and so I'm going to focus all that on Mithril Hall, the dwarves, and they're going to want to hire. They know the Lords, and Mithril Hall is very strong with the Lord's Alliance, and one of the characters does have a Lord's Alliance connection, so that's going to be cool. That's going to be her character arc, or her fulfillment in life is becoming really important as a Lord's Alliance. And Silvery Moon is Lord's Alliance, so that's going to be cool. I'm really developing Silvery Moon. I have not developed Mithril Hall, but I don't plan on it, except for I do need to do it a few important names. And I'm going to show you how you kind of need to do that. Now, what about all this other stuff here? It's like, oh man, I'm developing Sundabar. That's where I've decided to have the fire giants attack instead of Tribor, which is way down here somewhere. I was going to have them do it at Dead Snows or Newfort, which are small towns, and I was thinking that would be kind of interesting. But then I realized Sundabar is really interesting because that's a ruined town or city of dwarves. The dwarves are hiding underneath the rubble. They hate Silvery Moon because Silvery Moon didn't come to their rescue during the War of the Silver Marches against the orcs and all that. So there's the Silvery Moon's desires maybe to try to reach out to them or whatever, the dwarves there. So what I'm going to have them do, and of course the conch, right? They have the frost giant to fire giant conch, and they're going to hear that they're going to Sundabar. They're going to hear the little Alexis, listening in on the fire giants. that the fire giants have a campaign in Sundabar, like what's going on in Sundabar. Have we taken it? Have we gotten it yet? You know, they're looking for the Vanadar there. And so I created a map of that, which I did. Let me open that up real quick and show you what I did. It was very, very time consuming, but I finished it. Let me see if I can find it here. This is Silvermoon. I'll show you this in a sec. Where is it? Is it this one? Yeah. So this is Sundabar. I found this map online, the regular map. That's the regular map. I mean, and I don't like these kind of maps, but I guess they could work as you run around. Whatever. I made it really big because I wanted the shape of it, and then I drew my own rubble, and this is the chasms with the smoke. I drew my own rubble, and I just scribbled as fast as I could. It was very annoying. I just did not want to. Once I started, I was like, oh my gosh! But I'm gonna be able to zoom in on it, and so they can play with the little miniatures, you know, with the fire giants. I don't know how big I'm gonna make this, like the siege, but the fire giants are trying to siege this castle, and the castle is like holding steady. The dwarves are, and the fire giants with their, I don't know what yet. I haven't even done it yet. Fire giants with their fire ogres or orcs are in camps around it, and so there's a siege going on. It's not going to be a huge battle. But it's going to be something. I'll probably do like 4 fire giants, 4 or 5 plus. I'll probably do units of 5 orcs, 5 orcs, 5 orcs, 5 orcs, and then make that one unit, that, you know, mob that they got to fight. And I usually, the way I do it is I'll put 5 orcs together in my little paper, you know, drawings, and then I'll make that literally a CR2 or 3 challenge rating 3 monster. You know, it's literally just a monster. But because it's a mob, I'll have it have some weaknesses, like if they fireball it, double damage, you know, or whatever, vulnerable to area effect things. And then if they take it down to half the hit points of whatever I decide, like if it's 5 orcs, 30, I do like 30 to 40 each. So 5 times 30 is 150 hit points. So see, it makes it kind of like a tough character, tough monster, instead of 5 different orcs rolling 5. And I usually only have to do 1 attack. That's plus 7, plus 8, you know, because it's 5 orcs. But or 2 attacks plus 6, plus 5 plus 6. But if they go down to half damage, then I take away a bunch of, like, half the attacks, you know, that kind of thing. So that's kind of the way I do, like, so it feels like you have a battle with 5 orcs as opposed to 5 different orcs and each does an attack. And I know the D&D has its kind of another simplified way of doing it, but I just like doing it this way. You know, I like thinking of it that way. Like, we could have 1 orc, which is, you know, CR challenge rating half, and then if I do 3 orcs, that's challenge rating 1 kind of creature, and if I do 5 orcs, it's challenge rating 2 kind of monster. And I just elevate the hit points and the attack stuff to hit and damage. And then again, I might give them a little extra sneak attack type thing, because, you know, or something that because of their because there's 5 of them, or whatever, some other little thing, you know, a little bonus thing. Okay, so this is the map I drew for Sundabar. So I definitely want them to do that. I'm going to make them do that. Let's see. Let me go back to this. So that's Sundabar here. The rest, you know, Silvermoon is a very magical town. What are you doing? Can you see it? Yeah, Silvermoon is a very magical town. So I was like, and Everlund to me, based on what I read, is a very mercantile, sort of regular human-y town. So I decided I was going to have them go to both, but I'm like, why have them go to both? Let's just go to Silvermoon. I'm just going to focus on Silvermoon. They could go to Zamorvan Hall. That's kind of interesting, but not, you know, because it's the guy with the magical armor plate things. And I was thinking, you know, maybe they could buy one from him or something, or get one from him. I don't know, maybe. But Mithril Hall, I'll definitely have them go there, and then Silvermoon, Hawk's Nest, maybe they could go there. I haven't really decided on, like, if they want to, they can. I'll just roleplay it though. I won't like make maps or anything. But again, Sundabar, and then from there, I'm assuming they're going to go to Iron Slog, and I'll have them. That'll be very easy for them to find out about it. Like everybody knows where the fire giants are. So what I'm doing is I'm collecting information on Silvermoon, and this right here is some notes I have, and not completely done yet. Then I brought it down here, and little, again, like what I like to do is create a list of things that the players will want, and I'm trying to figure out what locations they'll be at. And I've found this. Okay. Dog's barking. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I'm still working this, but what I found. Oh, let me find it. Let me find what I. Okay. Find what I found. Okay. So here, Forgotten Realms .fandom wiki. It's pretty cool. I mean, maybe most of you already know about this. I mean, I've known about it for a while. I just let you know. And this is definitely helpful for any of the campaigns and the Wizards of the Coast campaigns that are in, obviously, the Forgotten Realms. And here's Silvermoon. So it's really kind of cool. You could like get lost in here. And I found this, and I found this map, this thing, which I didn't really like because it's, top down. And here's now obviously a legend of things that you could, incorporate into whatever it is that you're doing. So I'm going to figure out which of these would be places I would want them to go to, or they would want to go to. The wizard, the warlock, the cleric who does fire, so I keep forgetting where I look. The cleric who does fire and all that. So these are pretty cool. These are, and I'll read up a little bit on them, whichever ones sound interesting, and use them. And it's, to me, the most important thing is just the cool names. A little bit about, maybe there's some names in there of people, but again, you only want to do like 5 or 6 locations, that are important to you. Obviously, I want to do, for one character, the Lord's Alliance stuff. I want to do something to do with the Druidic or Ranger Foresty Elfy stuff. Something to do with the Gnome. I don't know, maybe I need to find some kind of character arc for her. We still haven't figured that out. But yeah, it's just a couple of important places, locations, and then get them on their way. Get them on, so, and of course I'm sure they want to do some magic item things, and like the Gem of Enchantment that I mentioned earlier, like they need to go to like a place to then infuse the Gem of Enchantment using magic and whatever they do, to do that. So I'll probably have to get some sort of wizard's place for that. But yeah, the Forgotten Realms fandom.com is really helpful for getting an extra flavor and names and history when you're doing these. I mean, they have it in the books too, some, but I want more, and for just for background story, it's always fun. So I'm just starting that right now, even though they're getting closer and closer to it. But I've been really busy lately, so with other things, and I've just been barely able to DM. But it's I think my time is opening up again, so hopefully I'll be able to delve into this a lot more. And the last thing I want to show in this video is this one. So I found this map. It's a really great map. I believe I found it through Googling, but on Reddit. So some guy, I believe it's a guy, I don't know, I forgot, but some guy or gal drew this really great map. It's kind of my style, but even better. And I'm sort of working with this right now to and he shared it on Reddit, so I'm using it. But it's cool. I don't know. He didn't put his name on it. That would have been cool to put his name and website or something. I like towns like this, like drawn this way, and I've drawn my own. You've seen, but it is a little tedious and takes a while, and I get a little tired doing it. So I prefer if someone else did it. So, but this one's kind of cool. I like it. I mean, really cool actually. And I'm trying to get locations and think about where I want them to go. If it's relevant or important. And I'm not even sure I'm going to use all these. I was just sort of typing them out and just thinking about it. I will hide these names until they start talking to people or learning about these locations, and then I'll show them. In Roll20, what I'll do is I will turn these into tokens, individual tokens. And when they learn of a location, just like they did in Bryn Shander, I will unhide that token. So they can see the name in that location. So that's kind of what I'll do probably for this map. It's a little tedious, but worth it. Enjoyable to them. And there's not going to be any fighting here, so I guess I shouldn't worry too much about it. But whatever. Anyway, so that's Silvermoon. I still haven't fully fleshed it out. But I just wanted to show you how I'm coming along and what little things I'm learning as I go, especially with OBS capturing software, and then Roll20, and then how I do towns and develop the next section as they're coming along with the story. So that's it. I think that's it for this one, just to help give you guys ideas, think about ways you can help you guys, and yeah, that's it for now. Hope this was helpful. Where's my mouse?